Hops and Stocks podcast is presented by 100 Spoke Media Group. We encourage our listeners to drink responsibly. Please note, we are not financial advisors. We do not offer or provide financial advice.
I'm Spoke affiliated from the city of Gems.
Welcome back to the Hops and Stocks podcast, brought to you by 100 Spoke Media Group. This is episode 69.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm just going to let that sit with y'all for a minute.
Let that sizzle in your spirit.
Yeah, just let it sit there for a minute. You know what I'm saying? If we get any inboxes off the episode number, we know y'all nasty.
Nasty MFs.
Nasty audience.
Right, man. But
nasty ass audience.
We are an adult podcast, man, so we should expect some jokes and whatnot.
True.
And how's everybody week going?
Yo, did y'all catch the tribute for hip hop, the 50th anniversary?
Yeah, I like that, man.
I did.
Hey man, that medley, fire.
It got
yeah, there's some exceptions.
I'm gonna sound like an old head, but I mean, towards the end, it was just like a steady crash. Like it went Nelly, and then I think it crashed after Nelly.
Yeah, man, you can tell. And me, I actually listen to the young cats, and I appreciate some of the young cats, but they don't deserve to be on the same stage with that first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That first 10 minutes when they was just fire, and then it just it's not the same. Like music literally is just not the same. Like you could hear it, you could see it. It's not the same, man.
Who was y'all's favorite? I know yours, B-Dub. I mean, you
Face Bob.
Man, good question. Honestly, I can't say. Cause I didn't. Who was my favorite, man? Probably L.
What song did L do? Oh, he did a couple. We did rock.
He did radio, I think.
Okay,
probably L.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I know Cass was going crazy off of Buster, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
Buster wasn't rapping, man. I don't care what.
Word on the streets is he didn't say a damn thing.
Hey, man. Doug said he understood. I'm like, man, come on,
man.
He's like, that's all he did, man.
Yeah, he wasn't rapping.
I mean, I think at one time those were legitimate words when he did the song with Chris Brown. But what took place on Sunday?
Yeah, man. But it's energy, obviously, man. Like I got hype off his energy. But then I started paying attention, like, hey man, Bust ain't saying nothing. Like he's literally not saying
nothing. And it was tight that he did that song because that's not really probably at the top of most Buster fans' list. But for him to bust into that, I thought that was pretty cool. Y'all already know who my favorite was, man, that came out.
Short Dog.
Yeah, man. To see Short Dog on the Grammys was just crazy. I mean, to see all of them cats on the Grammys.
Man, but first of all, here's what I didn't like about the short is he didn't do what made him short.
I agree with you, man. I guess you got to take what you can get, man.
I know
he did say his catchphrase though. He said his catchphrase though.
Sure, but I'm saying like that song. It's to me it's a shame that's the song that the masses know.
I agree.
That is not good too short music.
I'm with you.
That's good music.
No, that is not good music, man.
Okay. I'm not a fan of Atlanta short. Yeah. I need Oakland short, man. When Short went to Atlanta, although he had a couple bangers while he was in Atlanta, but I mean that ain't my kind of short.
Yeah, man. Every time he does that song, I cringe because I'm like, that's not good short music, man.
Man, you can digest that music, man.
Man, I can't, man. Like I don't want anybody blowing the whistle, man. Like
yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Well, man, before we get hijacked on this discussion, just real quick, what was the biggest omission y'all thought?
On that hip hop thing?
Yeah. Like Doug said, Nas.
Well, you knew
I love that PE though.
Yeah, I love the PE too.
I was say you knew Jay wasn't going to perform.
I think so because he performed later, so I guess you can excuse Jay.
Drake don't mess with the Grammys, so he's not.
Some Cole wasn't on there.
Cole don't mess with the Grammys, if I'm not mistaken, either.
I thought Jay didn't fuck with the Grammys.
Man, but it's hard not to mess with him when your wife
when
is
they,
getting one of the biggest awards. You know
yeah,
what I
they
mean?
kind of
So he
feature
went
you
ahead
or
and
whatever.
he went ahead and, you know what I'm saying, bit the bullet,
Bullet,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying, showed up.
I don't know. I think
Or he wasn't gonna get no grease that night.
one of the biggest. Oh, okay, I'm gonna tell you. I don't want to say it's an omission, but Big Boy is not Outkast, man. So stop. I'm probably about to piss a lot of ATLians off, and I apologize, man. But I want to see Outkast, man. Like I don't want to, and I love Big Boy, but I want to see. Like I guess Dre's never rapping again in life, right?
Man, yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, man.
Yeah, but when Big Boy comes out, he does the Outkast songs, and it's just like, man, that energy comes back, and you just want to hear the Dre verse, and it's just like, y'all keep giving us Big Boy like he's Outkast, and obviously he's one half of it, but he's not Outkast, man. He's Big Boy. Like
Dre has done features though.
Yeah.
Outside of Outkast.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of shady, man. It's kind of shady the way he does
do a
Boy.
feature once every 5 years, man.
he was on Ross's album, 16 Ain't Enough. He was on something else. He might have been on a Khaled or something. I mean, he's rap. I guess he ain't doing no more.
It's kind of sad, man, because I know Big Boy is straight, but I just feel like Big Boy could use another Outkast bread.
Yeah, man, we all could use
Dre,
that.
Dre refuses to give it.
Yeah, man. It's just like, dude, just retired, man, and
Man.
and never. And once again, we never know what happened to the chemistry or in the industry, but yeah, man, I feel like we was cheated out of, because it's probably been what, maybe a decade since they dropped
at least it
a
might
collective.
be like that. I mean, the last thing was Equimini, or not Equimini, but
some Idlewild.
Nah, that was
like the Idlewild joint.
I think that was before the double, wasn't it? When they did the 2 separate albums, but that was their last one as Outkast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, it was a Speaker Box and Love Below or something like that.
Yeah. So they didn't even really rock together on those.
No, it wasn't really too much cross pollination.
Yeah.
Man,
So,
my biggest omission, and kind of on the same lines as Jay-Z, because I think Dre got the award right before the big ceremony started. But I was like, man, how can you not have something Dre / Death Row / Aftermath on the 50 year?
well, I think they gave you West Coast because they gave you Ice-T, and that's what they.
That Ice-T was hard.
Yeah. I needed some 40. I need 40, and you got to have Snoop on there to do some doggy style ish.
Yeah, that's where I was like, something out of that Death Row catalog should have popped up, I thought. Yeah. I mean, by not having Dre, you're not having any NWA, like none of that.
Man. Or at least have somebody doing their song.
Yeah, somebody could have did it for him or something, but that was like a huge omission.
Man.
They could have got B-Dub's boy out there.
Who?
Cube to hold it down.
Y'all don't like Cube? I love it.
Nah, you don't like Cube.
I rock with Cube. You crazy.
Not current Cube.
I don't think nobody does.
I don't think anybody raps with current.
You're always criticizing current Cube.
I battle with Cube.
You didn't battle with butter cheese. You didn't battle.
I had some, but y'all wasn't gonna feel it.
Yeah, man, when he switched to that flow, it was over for him, man. It was over for him, man. Actually, when he came out with his first movie, it was over for him. He was out of here. He was like, "Yo, man,
yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, I'm out of here. I get way more bread being an actor." You know what I'm saying? Are we there yet?
Last night on VH1, they had Menace followed by New Jack. Man, you talk about like a great 6 hours of film right there, man. Man, the scene in New Jack when Wesley Snipes is on the stand, it's hilarious, man. I mean, as a guy that works in the legal field, I'm just watching like, man, someone needs to get control of this courtroom. This guy he's going off on tangents, man. Hey, you can see it in his eyes. He was about to snitch on Christopher Williams.
Kareem. What's his name? Kareem from the bank.
Kareem Akbar. He's like, Kareem Akbar. That's the head. He stood up. He was glorifying his snitch. He was like, if I'm going down, a whole lot of people are going down.
True rat, man.
I could dig it, man. But let's hop off into these brews, man. We got a lot to hop into tonight, man.
Yeah.
Discuss. Know what I mean? So we're going to slide it on over to B-Dub. What you drinking on tonight, man?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. I got a Listermann joint.
Ninja Turtles?
It's turtles.
Yeah.
It is the turtles. You can see that from our childhood. This is called Turtle Power from Listermann Brewing Company out of Cincinnati. This is an IPA. It's coming in at 8%.
Oh, it's about to be IPA night in the tap room.
I'll report him on up. You can see what it is. I ain't gotta say too much about this. Y'all know what this DNA is. It's crisp, it's light. It almost look hazy. This ain't a New England hazy. This is a straight IPA. I think it's got fruit notes in here. It's got
jig.
Oh, that's good, man. It has notes of passion fruit, pineapple, citrus, and stone fruits. This is love right here. It's coming in at 8%, so it's got a little punch to it.
Is that a new joint?
I believe so. It's in collaboration with Pipeworks and Adina Distributing.
Oh, okay. We rock with Pipeworks.
Nice can work there. I love this. This is easy a 4.5. 4.5. I haven't had too many offerings from Listermann that I didn't like. Solid brew house out of Cincinnati, like I said. Solid 4.5 right here. I enjoy what's in that can right there, man. And shout out to Boschma for making my shirt. This is Black History Month.
That joint is fresh.
I'm celebrating us today.
That's
you know.
Yeah, I love it.
So shout out to her from Custom World.
Look at that handsome devil standing next to E.
I got some.
I'm saying, who's a dude on my visual left, man? Like that dude's fresh.
So yeah, shout out to her for making this shirt to me, man. She's at a Custom World in Dayton, not Dayton Mall, but Fairfield Mall. I got another shirt from her. She showed me love. She instantly followed the page. So if y'all see Bosch on there, that's her. Shout out to
see that, yeah. I might have to start getting me some shirts made, like of y'all's face while y'all smack.
So what you got there, Blast?
All right, man. You know, keeping it going in honor of Black History. I got another Black-owned brewery out here. I think I highlighted this one last year. It's out of Indiana. I think Hammond, Indiana specifically, but you know they got a tap room in Indy, maybe one in Gary too. But we're going with 18th Street Brewery. And kind of in honor of tonight's show, I have Sex and Candy. It's an IPA.
Sex and Candy.
Yeah, you catch what I did there, right? Episode 69, Sex and Candy. If you didn't get it, figure it out when you get home and laugh later. There's the can. It's got some black, a little purple on it. IPA like B-Dub. And we are checking in at 7.5. It's got a nice dark color to it. That foam has been there since I poured up.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of IPAs, this is a double NE IPA. I've never heard of that style before.
Double New England? Is that what
New England.
Oh, okay. That's what it stands for?
Yeah.
New E. So I guess it is a New England in. I said it wasn't. I misspoke. So this is a New England.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm sure my buddy E would like this. This joint is definitely hoppy. There ain't no IBU number on it, but it's kicking some bitterness, and there ain't really no notes on the can. So I gotta describe it to you. I think I would go, definitely hop forward.
I like that color, man. It reminds me of like Oktoberfest.
Yeah, this joint is good. It's hop forward. It's got some citrus notes to it. Maybe grapefruit being the most prominent. I like it. I'd give it a 4.25.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pass it to my man E.
Yeah.
What you sipping on?
Man. I'm gonna give y'all a really, really quick review. With this being Black History Month, I want to take some time out of our pod to highlight Black folks in craft beer.
Yeah.
But tonight I am sipping on. It's called Northern Trippin'.
Oh, I like it.
Man, I love that can work, man.
Yeah.
Is that grease? Like
what?
Like
I
Athens,
thought that
Greece.
Greece. I'm thinking like, what?
yeah. That's why I was like, man, I don't see grease on that can.
I was like, Greece.
Not the anatomy. I'm talking about the actual place.
Nah, so
Y'all don't know what grease is, so y'all can't be laughing.
I'm sure they figured it out now.
So this is they're out of your favorite state up north. Bridgman is the city, from Tapestry Brewing. This is a New England style Indian Pale Ale. There's no notes and there's no IBU or ALC. But quick thing, it says it's a New England inspired IPA bursting with juicy citra and mandarina hops and balanced with a blend of oats and wheat. I'll show y'all real quick what the looks like.
Good color.
This is really tasty, man. It's hop forward, but the hops, they don't ride all the way through the finish. Like it dies really, really quick. So people who don't really like hops actually may like this because it's not something that lasts. It doesn't have like a bitter aftertaste or anything like that. Easily a sessionable brew. We're going to use all the innuendos today.
So grease on the can and a sessionable.
Use them all up, all of them.
It's easily a sessionable brew, man. I would get his joint, man. I'm gonna go 4 1/4. I was tempted to give it 4 1/2. I just don't have enough information to give it 4 1/2. But I really like this joint, man. Once again, Tapestry Brewing out of Bridgman, state up north.
Is that a
Busta?
What? I don't know what you said.
Yeah, I don't know what you said either.
And I don't know if I want you to repeat it.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go with that Pimp C, but
I did. Y'all didn't hear it?
Nah, it sounded like you said Buster.
That's what I thought you said. Buster.
I said, is it a bust up your back type?
Oh man.
Hey man, we gonna move right along, man. We gonna slide over to the Black History portion of our podcast.
Yeah, man.
Let's try to clean it up.
Yeah,
man.
get us out of this. Get us out of the tap room tonight. The tap room is dangerous.
I know, man. Tap room, damn peep show right now.
Yeah.
We live on the edge here in the tap room, man.
Oh, man.
All right, man. I'm gonna highlight Hippin Hops Brewery. So Hippin Hops is Georgia's first Black-owned brick-and-mortar brewery. It was founded in 2021 by Clarence Boston. They are the largest Black-owned brewery in the United States, with 3 locations in Georgia and 1 in North Carolina. Hippin Hops puts as much focus on their food as they do their beers. They have a variety of offerings from New Orleans-themed seafood to elevated pub fare. Interestingly enough, I couldn't really find like what was their go-to style or anything like that. They mentioned that they like to basically make beer for the culture. So they don't just focus on one style like Belgian IPA, sours, or anything like that. They just kind of go with the vibe. The original location is located on Glenwood Avenue in East Atlanta Village. So if anybody's around that area, they also did a collab with Drought Season.
Drought Season.
Yeah. And the article that I read was actually written by L. Sharpton, the cat that we had reached out to try to get on.
We got to get him on, man.
Yeah, for sure. I was looking at. There's not a lot of information there's not a lot of current information on Black breweries, and I don't know if that's a miss or not. Black breweries make up 1% of the entire craft brew industry, which equals to about 8,500 breweries. That equals 1%. So obviously we still got a lot of work to do. And if we can highlight, more breweries on our podcast, but every article that I was trying to look at was from like 2022, 2021, 2020. There's not a lot of current information or articles on breweries out there. So it's been kind of tough to try to find stuff to speak on in Black history, but maybe that's an initiative that we take on as the Hops and Stocks podcast to, highlight, Black-owned breweries, excuse me, and the culture, in craft brew, because obviously, we're making a name for ourselves in this industry. But once
Yeah,
again,
I mean, they're out there, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing I noticed, you know, we try to review as many Black-owned brews as we can, especially during February. It's difficult to find one that ships. Like, thankfully, there's a couple,
Yeah.
you know, in my store that I can readily go and get. But I've been online at, you know, some of the places that we're familiar with, and you know, you can't get it shipped. Not, at least not, you know, out of state. I don't know if that's a regulation or something like that, or
I've ordered beers. Untitled Art used to ship their beers, and for a long time I was getting them from there. They don't do it anymore. Every time I've looked at a Black-owned brewery, they're always up north, like New York, up that way, and they don't ship. So you're right about that, Blast. It's, you want to support and do your you know, due diligence and support these breweries, but it's hard to get a hold of them.
yeah, hard to get some. You're right.
some of it is regulations. You have to be like allowed to ship to certain states. In certain states, you have to be allowed to receive alcohol. In certain states, usually, you know, beer and wine. Like, you can't really like ship liquor or anything like that through the mail. Here in Tennessee, there's one brewery that's Black-owned. It's in Memphis. I think it's called Beale Street Brewery. In Ohio, there's actually 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Ohio has good numbers, man.
Yeah, there's 2 in Cincinnati. You got Cincinnati Beer Company. You got Esoteric. Dayton. You got
Elmatic.
Elmatic.
Aromatic.
Then you got I think it's either one in Toledo or Akron. And then you got Craft Culture up in Columbus, and then closest to me really is Atlanta, where, you know, they got 3 or 4 down there. But yes, it takes me the same time to get to Atlanta as it does to Memphis. So it's like I have a greater selection if I go to Atlanta. But like I said, it says there's 8,500. So they're out there. It's just
Definitely out there.
Yeah.
But one thing that Hippin Hops did mention is that their goal is to make it beer that they can distribute amongst all 50 states. So, I mean, that would be big to be able to walk into your local,
that would be.
You know what I'm saying, and see a Black-owned brewery, you know what I'm saying, that's been mass distributed. So, you know what I'm saying, salute and shout out to them. Looking forward to the day that I can walk in the store and, you know what I'm saying, pick up some of their stuff. I definitely need to take a trip down to the A and just go do a major Black brewery beer haul, man, so I can start highlighting some of the stuff that's around my area.
Yeah,
I just talked to Scoot today. He's in Atlanta, but he said he about to move to LA. Matter of fact, he'll be down here tomorrow. Shout out to Scoot, man, because this is his birthday this weekend. So shout out to him, man. Need to get him back on for some more Scoot stories, man.
Oh man.
Did they cancel their pod? Like, I haven't seen no footage from them, no content.
He just sent me something the other day. They still rocking.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember one of y'all cats was butchering dude's name.
Yeah, you.
That cat is you.
Right, man.
Yeah.
As we
wild dudes, man.
As we transition out of the beer section, man, we had a variety of topics, you know, that we kicked around today, and we probably gonna touch on a couple. But first and foremost, we want to hop off into, and I know Blast always like, man, y'all be getting into this serious stuff, man. But
no, you know, if we gotta talk about it, we gotta talk about it.
Yeah, we want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, revisit, you know, the Tyre Nichols case. Really close to home for me because I live in Nashville. It happened in Memphis. And the last time we touched on it, it was fresh. Like, we hadn't seen the video. And since then, obviously, the video's been released.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I know me and Dub watched it because we was, you know, going back, you know, in text messaging.
I saw it too. Yeah, I wasn't looking for it, you know, initially. Like, it almost seemed like it was a TV event that first night.
It was a premiere.
Yeah, something just didn't feel right. But you know, there was the news on in the following days, and I was like, all right, man, I don't want to sit down and watch this, but you know, let me see it. So I've seen it too.
Yeah. And I understand people that, you know, say like, I'm not going to watch it or I can't watch it. You know what I'm saying? Me, I wish I could be like that. Because it is traumatic. Like it does cause PTSD. I described in a recent event that I wasn't involved with the cops, but just the cops getting behind me and how it just made my heart start racing. I was driving in the suburb of Nashville, and the places I was going, like I had seen a lot of police activity, like people pulled over. So I make a mental note on my way back, pay attention, like they out. And I wasn't drinking or nothing like that. But I'm driving back home and I come to a light, and the street that I'm about to turn on, there's a cop sitting right here, and he would be going straight. And so I get the light and I'm like, damn it, that means he has an opportunity to get behind me.
Yeah.
So, and once again, it's a suburb of Nashville. I'm not going to name the suburb. So I'm driving. Next thing I know, I can see him in my rear view. And so I'm instantly, man, just like, and I know I'm not dirty. Like, I got a legal license. I got a legal concealed to carry. I got, insurance, headlights work. The bullshit that they stop you on with the license plate light, like,
man, I thought that was just me, man. I got pulled over. I was like, man, I ain't never heard of this before.
Man, nah, it's bogus. But so I
went
know
to AutoZone the next day and was like,
right, man. So I know I'm legit, and the speed limit is 35 on a residential street. I put my cruise control on 35 because I don't even want to go 36. And I don't want to go 34 because I'm like, man, you can get pulled over for going too slow. So he's behind me and I'm just nervous. And I'm like, man, why am I nervous? I'm not doing anything. Like,
and probably because he's behind you, you nervous. You probably keep looking in your mirror and you probably swerving off of that.
Nah. I made sure not to swerve. Like I made sure my car was, if it's directly in the middle. I got 2 feet on each side because I'm like, man, I'm not gonna swerve. I'm not gonna do nothing. And so he kind of like swerves, like he's kind of like playing with on the line. Like he comes up to the, like if I'm in the middle, like he crosses the lane. I don't know if he's trying to check me out or what, and then gets right behind me. And he does that like 2 or 3 times. So that made me, I'm like, man, what the hell is this dude doing? Right.
Yeah.
And my, like I said, heart like, and one, because I'm a concealed carry holder. Like I had 2 pistols in the car. Like I had one on me and then I had one in a bag. And so he just keeps doing that for a minute. And I'm like, man, I don't know if this dude trying to get me to swerve or something. Like, and I'm trying to find a place to duck off, but I'm like, man, if I duck off, then I look suspicious. And like all the little it was a shopping centers, like they all closed. So if I duck off, there's not what are you going there for?
Yeah, you ain't turning into.
Yeah, I'm not turning into a gas station. I'm not turning to a restaurant.
Yeah.
So eventually I get to the exit to get to the highway, and he ends up going straight. But it's just high anxiety, man. Anytime the police get behind me, because I don't want to interact with the police. Just plain and simple. Like, even though I'm legit and everything's copacetic and everything's on the up and up, I don't want to interact with the police. You know what I'm saying? Because traffic stops nowadays lead to murders and deaths. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to put myself in that situation. And a lot of people might say you stereotyping, or it's, you know what I mean, like you just going overboard. No, it is what it is, man. Like we live in a world where I've been conditioned, whether it be by the media, the internet, that I associate traffic stops with the death of Black men. It's how I feel.
And these aren't one-off incidences. These are.
I was gonna say, I don't know how you can say conditioned. I mean, it ain't like you making it up or they making it up. I mean, it's legit.
How many bad encounters have you had with the police versus good encounters with the police? Well, I guess that's a messed up way of putting it, because if you're interacting with the police, it's probably never going to be good. But I've never had a good encounter with the police. Even if they're pulling me over, that's not good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, kind sir.
One, I will say this. Well, it's kind of good, kind of not bad. I mean, kind of good, kind of not. But on my birthday, I got pulled over, and I was supposed to meet you and Karan. This is during the hot out days. Mm-hmm. Now, it's my fault. I didn't have my license was suspended. He said I was speeding. I didn't have my seatbelt on.
Oh,
and he said I ran a red light.
You're flagrant.
Now this is broad. This is like I was meeting with y'all early. This had to be like this is after the afternoon time, and he pulled me over, and I'm like, I'm going to jail. And this is right in the wood. He was like, listen, I'm about to leave. When I come back, you shouldn't be here. I said, huh? He said, listen, I gotta go somewhere. When I come back here, you shouldn't be here. I was like, say less. Like, I'm out of here.
Hey, beat up. I was in the ride with you one time, man. I think you had another fortunate experience.
Yeah, man. We was our reunion coming back from a little location, and it was one of them blinking red lights, and I just went through it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that at all, bro. I just remember, woo! I'm like, oh,
yeah. He came to the whip.
I think we was mobbing to some smalls too. So
yeah,
the tunes was pumping, and next thing you know, it's super bright behind. I'm like, oh damn.
Yep. I'm like, where the hell you come from?
Oh man.
We was in Inglewood too, so it is somewhere I should have known better. Y'all not from the area. Everybody listening not from the area. It's Trotwood and it's Inglewood. One is more urban. One is more not so urban. So I got pulled over in the not so urban part of town. Came to the car. I said what I said to him, and
yeah, you can't really disclose all the details.
I was lucky.
Yeah, but like I said, man, there's been since that video has aired, there's been a lot of information that's come to the light. There's been a lot of rumors. Currently, there's been 13 officers who have either been charged or disciplined as it relates to the Tyre Nichols incident. Most recently, came out today that I believe the officer's last name is Haley. I think it's the officer Demetrius Haley. Took a photo of Tyre during the incident and sent it out to 6 people, including a woman acquaintance. Now I know the internet's been buzzing saying that there was a rumor that he was messing with an ex of Officer Haley. His family came out and said that that's not true.
Ex-officer,
ex-thug. No, current thug. His family came out and said that's not true and that's just a rumor. And we was pre-potting a little bit, and we was just like, hey man, my family doesn't know everybody that I mess with, or everybody that I'm acquainted with, or everybody that I have dealings with. So maybe they're trying to, not stain his name or something like that. I don't believe this thug was currently involved with this lady, because I think they refer to her as his ex-girl. But we were just trying to make sense of it.
So the thug has an ex that may or may not have been messing with the gentleman Tyre that was murdered.
Correct.
And he took a picture of Tyre after they brutalized him and sent it to his ex.
Yes.
Correct. A woman acquaintance, an alleged
acquaintance. Okay. And
this was in the police report, I believe.
Yeah, this is in the police report.
So it's almost like he sent that picture to show her, like, look what I did to your guy, kind of type thing.
That's my interpretation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's either bragging or showing off, or, you know what I'm saying, kind of like making fun of. But the more that I hear and the more that I read, I truly believe this man was targeted.
Clearly he was targeted. First of all, I think all them guys, all them thugs was on the police force for less than 2 years, right? And now they're on the police force for less than 2 years, and they're on a force called Scorpion.
Yeah.
As police officers, you're supposed to serve and protect. What the hell says I'm going to serve and protect you with a name like fucking Scorpion?
No.
Scorpion. And then they try to make up some acronyms with the meaning of it. Well, come on, man. They made that BS up. This ain't nothing but a group of aggressive police officers intimidating some citizens. That's all that was. and they took it too far. And I do believe those stories of he was targeted, because when he got pulled over and he got put out that car, he didn't know why he was pulled over. If you was doing some wrong, you were like, all right, man, relax. Relax. You know what I'm saying? I was just playing. You know what I'm saying? This dude was like, man, what did I do? Y'all doing too much.
Yeah.
They yanked him out of the car talking about, I'll break your shit.
Yeah.
You know?
And the way that they were just talking to him, man, like they was talking to him like this was a dude, like this was in the middle of the streets. Like this wasn't, like this wasn't official police business. Like this is how you talk to somebody when you jumping somebody in the club, or when you got beef with somebody in the streets. Like this didn't appear to be official police business. Once again, man, 13 officers have now been charged or disciplined for a traffic stop. Can we focus on that, man? A traffic stop. It wasn't a mass shooting incident. It wasn't you pulled this dude over and he got 60 pounds of dope in the car. This was a traffic violation, man.
For what? And there was a supervisor on scene, and he asked him what he did. Nobody said nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody said nothing.
They got also in that most recent report, they speak about how some of the officers took their body cams off and put them on top of the car. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know what you're doing when you don't turn your camera on, or when you take your camera off your body.
You know exactly what you're doing.
That's intentional.
And this wasn't their first time.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. If he wasn't targeted, then this was just what they do.
That's what they do.
It went too far, because I mean, these cats, man, like I said, when I watched the video, and I know a lot of the people who had seen the video prior to its release was saying that it was worse than Rodney King. And the way that the media had kind of how to set it up, they played it in, I believe, 4 parts. And when you're watching it, you're like, yo, this ain't Rodney King, man. Like I seen Rodney King, and that this ain't that. But when they showed that overhead footage from the pole, then you realize the brutality of what was really going on. Because when you was kind of like first person view from the body cams,
you can't tell
what's going on. They had the man handcuffed. Dude is literally just trying to knock him out in handcuffs. You got the one dude running up, stomping him and kicking him. Like, this is real live. Me and my dogs is jumping somebody. I mean, the dude was, I believe, was 6'2", 6'3", 100, and they said 40 or 50 pounds, man. Like,
yeah, he looked pretty slim, man.
He was light. It wasn't fighting back.
A lightweight. You know what I'm saying? And those thugs were some big burly dudes. And one was struggling with a 100-pound dude, man. It's just like, I don't know, man. It seems a little bit more than just a traffic stop that went wrong. It seems like somebody had a personal vendetta against Tyre. And when that, I'll be interested in watching the court case, man, because that's
I can't wait.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what else comes out, man. So
yeah, that's gonna be interesting, man.
When I say that this wasn't their first time, it was another guy that's come forward and said that he was approached by the Scorpion unit or whatever, and he was going to pick up a pizza, and they kept asking him where the dope was. He's like, man, I don't know what you're talking about, any dope. I just went over there across the street to get a pizza, and they were aggressive towards him, and nothing happened like what happened to Tyre, but they were still on that same BS. You know what I'm saying? They was on that type of time. Like I swear they're probably like the worst. Yeah, they are the worst officers. And probably in that department, they just put them all together and let them just terrorize the citizens, man.
Well, according to the police chief, like, they all were fine people. They all passed whatever they need to pass. They were all well trained.
Nah, one of them dudes was, he just beat somebody as a correction officer. So that had to be in his jacket. That had to be on his file.
I don't know how big the Memphis Police Department is, but if you have 13 people that are being wrapped up in this one singular incident, that's a cultural thing, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not one. A lot of times they say, man, the one bad apple. No, it's culture. It's systematic. It's cultural. Yeah. And honestly, when they talk about there's good cops, well, the good cops don't say shit. The good
They
cops
can't
don't
say shit. They
you know,
can't say shit.
well, you can. You can. Now you
Well,
may
if they want to keep their job,
true, but I'm saying at what point do you say like, hey yo, I don't want to be a part of this? You know what I mean? Like this, I watch Chicago PD. It's probably my favorite show on network television. And most recently they got like a new character on there. And he's a Latino cop, right? He's from the hood. He said, I joined the police force to, you know what I'm saying, try to make a difference, right? And so they kind of spinning it with, you know what I'm saying, he's in all these situations where, you know, police is, you know, being brutal and, you know what I'm saying, towing the line. And he's kind of in this conundrum where he's a brand new cop. He wants to make a change. He wants to be a good cop, but the culture is basically on his ass, like, you know what I'm saying, kind of fall in line. And I think that's what happens. Like, I do believe that people do join the police force to make a difference and make a change, and they get swallowed up and engulfed into this culture of, you know what I'm saying, this is who we are, this is what we do. Either you with us or you against us.
Yeah.
And they probably make it really, really tough for the guys that want to be right and do the right thing.
Yeah.
But at some point, somebody has to sacrifice and say, hey, yo, I'm not with this shit, man. Especially the thing that really pisses me off, it was 5 fucking black men, man. Y'all know what we do. Y'all see it. Y'all know
that's the part. That's the part for me too. E. It's weird seeing that dynamic in the whole situation, man. Like it's hard to process, you know, 5 black cops beating up a black man, and you know, just
no mercy, man.
It's just a weird thing to see, man.
Yeah.
It was. I think they got. You know how they say the music influences the kids to do certain things, certain type of music. I think the culture of policing affected the way those officers treated him. Like they probably seen a lot of ass whoopings personally on hand at the work spot, but that influenced how they treated that man. They probably seen that from other officers, and like you said, Eric, it's the culture of policing that's tainted, and I don't think you can fix that, man.
And I think to your point, B-Dub, about, you know, the unit they were working for, man, like you said, Scorpion doesn't invoke, you know, any type of thoughts of caring or you know, trying to de-escalate anything. I mean, you know,
screams, "I'm gonna whoop your ass."
Yeah. And so I mean, when you have a dedicated gang unit, I mean, and you call it Scorpion, it ain't going in there to try to calm down a situation. You know, you going in there to
wreck shop.
Yeah, I was gonna say bust up people's back.
Yeah, man. When you go to work to bust up backs, man, you just that's all bad. Hey, man, and I'm not having any sympathy for the police chief.
Sweet Jones, man.
Hey, man, and the police chief know they was out there busting backs, man. You can't just. She's not above any scrutiny, man.
She got to go too.
She takes all the accountability. She's the head. She's the culture, man. She let that shit ride. She put him on the squad.
Yeah.
Oh man, y'all some wild dudes, man.
That's y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, once again, man, I want to, you know what I'm saying, send obviously, you know what I'm saying, thoughts, prayers, and condolences to, you know, Tyre's family. I know I saw his stepdad on the TV today. I didn't really get a chance to catch what he was saying. I was at the gym, but I believe he was talking about, you know, something related to police reform. Honestly, man, I think that's pie in the sky, man. Like it's never going to happen. Almost the same as civil rights. Like it's never going to happen. You know what I mean? Just it's certain things that this country thrives on, man, and it's systematic, and they don't want to change. They don't.
There's no such thing as tearing something down and starting over,
rebuilding it, because you can't. Yeah, you can't go into every single town and every single city and disband the police. You can't.
Nobody's going to be on board for tearing it down.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You have to almost revisit on the police's functions, on how they operate, instead of trying to change them. Just dial back their responsibilities. When somebody's when you get a call of somebody with mental health, you don't call somebody there with guns.
Right.
That just
That's
escalates the
it's not going to
situation.
end well. It's not going
Yeah,
to end.
it's just never going to end well,
Yeah.
man. Like
You have to go back.
almost.
You have to go back to the very beginning, man. And police actually get offended, and well, I'm not going to generalize, but from what I see, they don't embrace servitude because they are servants of the citizens. You know what I'm saying? We pay their salaries, they're servants of the citizens, but there's no servitude in that role. And once again, I'm not trying to minimize, you know what I'm saying, the threats on their lives, the danger they put themselves in, or anything like that. I am specifically talking about when you have incidents like a traffic stop that leads to the death of an American citizen. You know what I mean? Like, and on the flip side, when we see like violent encounters where those people still make it to jail, make it to trial, like, how does a traffic stop end in someone dying? I'm never going to understand that.
Yeah.
I never understand that either.
I mean, like you said, it's 5 of them. You put the guy in cuffs, the situation is diffused.
Whether he stands up or not, he's in cuffs. He's not.
Like if 5 of y'all can't get control of one man's hands,
y'all should be on the force, man.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to enforce. Hit the weights. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and my thing is, they were so coached when they knew somebody's body. I don't know if it's a red light where you can see that it's recording, but you can see them putting the narrative out there.
The stories
all circled around. Oh, he must have been on something. He must have been on. Then he swung at me. Then he did this. I'm like, man. So we watched the video. I'm like, I don't see none of that.
Yeah. They're getting your story straight, man.
Yeah, and it was just like, but the thing that is sitting there just chopping it up. Like, they was chopping it up. Me and B-Dub, we've been involved in some incidents. And after the incidents have ended, we sit up and chop it up, right? That's exactly what they were doing. It was just like, hey, mate, I'm like, yo, man, this is like, this isn't police, man. Like, this isn't what I think the police should be doing, and who am I? But I just felt like this felt like 5 dudes from the block jumped somebody, went back to the spot, and was chopping it up about what they just did. You know what I'm saying, to this young man. It didn't feel policey. You know what I mean? Like, it just.
No, I like how y'all termed them thugs, man.
Yeah,
I think that's an appropriate usage of the word, based on their actions, and I like that.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to happen to these thugs?
Oh, man,
as far as sentencing wise,
lay it down
for life.
You killed somebody, yeah.
So it was 5 that got fired immediately, and you said it was 7 additional.
Right. Yeah. It's 13 that have
8,
been.
That'll be 8. Yeah.
Have
5
been disciplined somehow, some way. And I'm not saying everybody is equally accountable.
Let's talk about the 5 though. Let's talk about the.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be appropriate for all 5 in that incident?
You lay it down for life because you killed somebody.
Okay. Possibility of parole or nah?
No, you lay it down, man. Like, I honestly, real talk, man. Like, I don't believe in rehabilitation because I know that our justice system, our prison system doesn't rehabilitate people.
Yeah, they're going to come out worse. Yeah,
it doesn't set people up to be rehabilitated. And I'm not blaming, prisoners. I'm blaming the prison system.
Yeah, it's not designed to rehab.
It's not designed to rehabilitate people. It's designed to, once you get
make money.
make money. Yeah, make money. It's a profitable business. So no, you're not rehabilitated when you come out because you never had the opportunity to be rehabilitated. So no, let them lay it down, man. And anybody else who was culpable, let them be sentenced accordingly. You know what I mean? Like, and once again, I didn't read the report for the additional 8 officers, but a lot of things were related to protocol. A lot of things related to policy that they weren't following. Do I feel like they should receive a life sentence for some policy? No, I don't think that. But there has to be consequences to the behavior. That's the only way that this changes, is if police start going to jail and they stop getting slaps on the wrist. Like, if they go to jail for 5 years, that's a slap on the wrist. That doesn't change the behavior.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a normal citizen that does that, it's 20 to life.
Yeah,
I believe. I mean, policy doesn't trump law. What they did was break the law.
right.
So I don't give a damn what that police department's policy was, because obviously they didn't follow that. But what they did was break the law. And just because you have a badge, you're not above such law. So
No.
like Eric said, man, I don't believe in. There's no rehabilitating that, man. Once you take somebody's life, there's no bringing him back. There's no bringing.
I mean, you know,
his mama.
They've been fired, so they don't have the protection that, you know, a lot of the officers that do these type of activities have. Once they're, you know, if they're still under that umbrella of the force, you know, they've got all of the power of their attorneys and, you know, the resources to kind of fight this type of thing. But, you know,
police union, union.
Yeah, the union, now that they're fired, I mean, you know, they're pretty much on their own.
But
we can
white guy.
We can beep this out if y'all think I'm taking it too far. But one thing I ain't heard shit from the Blue Lives Matter people.
No, because you know why. You know why.
Yeah, and I mean that's the interesting dynamic to me, man. Is
not a peep, bro. Silence. Silencio.
Yeah,
where y'all at?
Yeah. That's the interesting dynamic, man. The fact that it's black cops doing this.
Yeah.
You know, it just makes it kind of turns upside down all of the other type of cases that we've seen. So
I haven't seen so much support. You know what I'm saying? Like,
where's Marjorie Taylor Greene at? You know what I'm saying? Right. She
I'll tell you what I saw in Cincy, man. I live in Finneytown, and right next door to us is Wyoming, and it's a pretty affluent neighborhood. You know, probably predominantly white, a decent mix of other ethnicities in there, but a cat got killed by the police, and I think he was in his grandma's house, and I think he legitimately had the right to be there. His grandma must have passed, and they were like cleaning up the belongings or whatever. And I don't know the details of what escalated the situation, but he was killed by the police, and this was a white cat. And it was just interesting to see, you know, when these incidents happen to us, you know, you see black people on the corners with the signs and protesting. It was interesting to see white people in Wyoming protesting the cops. And it just really threw me for a loop. And Wyoming, Ohio is what I'm speaking of, not the state of Wyoming, but it was just a really interesting dynamic. And I was like, I wonder if, and it was only like 3 or 4 people. I was like, I wonder if these 3 or 4 white people protesting would have a bigger impact than, you know, what we've been trying to get accomplished for years.
You know, it's the only time you're going to affect some change is when it happens to them.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but that's the only way a change is going to happen is when it starts affecting them.
That's how it played out in my mind when I was watching. I was like, wow, this is something I ain't ever seen before.
Let it happen to one of those politicians who support, you know, Blue Lives Matter, this and that. Let it happen to one of their family members. Let them see what type of legislations they try to push. As of right now, this is a one-off. Police are still good. They were just some rogue police officers.
Yeah, it's easy to write them off, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't feel no sympathy for them, man. I have a thing against bad police officers, white, black, Chinese, whatever, man. Just what happened that hurt my heart because they was black. You know what I'm saying? You should show some type of humanity towards your fellow brother, but for something he didn't even do anything wrong.
Yeah, for something that, you know, I would imagine they experienced coming up.
You know, they probably witnessed some
you ain't too far removed from that.
No, like I said, man, that's the crazy dynamic of it, man, because above and beyond those guys being officers, like, you are black men. You have to understand the trauma of what this looks like and what this does to the future people who encounter the police. Because I look at it like this, man. If we're trying to change the narrative and if we're trying to search and get reform, this, to me, in my opinion, this goes totally against that, because now you have other people thinking like, well, if your own kind of do it to you, then
I mean, you know, they push
black on black crime.
Talks about, like, you know, getting people from the neighborhood to be the police, people familiar with the neighborhood, and here you have that situation, and and they do just like the people that are, not from the neighborhood.
That's why I say it's cultural, man. It's the cultural. It's not race based. You know what I mean? Like we now have evidence that this is not race based. It's cultural. It's the cultural of policing that needs to change. It doesn't need to. It's not get rid of white cops from black neighborhoods. It's reform, retrain, and reprogram what policing looks like universally, not just across, black neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, Asian neighborhoods. It's the entire systematic system of policing.
It starts with policy, man.
Yeah, it needs to change.
They can run amok with no accountability whatsoever.
You have immunity.
They won't even get charged, man.
Yeah, they have immunity for a lot
and after they commit a crime, because it's a crime, they'll get paid for it. They'll be on paid administrative leave.
Yeah, I was gonna say during it, while they're on trial and all of that.
Which brings me to a quick point: is they want us to celebrate the fact that these officers were fired like expeditiously.
Yeah, and I
and I'm like, okay.
without really going into it, again, I point to the interesting dynamic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all get what I'm saying when I say interesting dynamic, but I'm like, a different dynamic would still be on paid leave and under the umbrella of the union and the attorneys and all of that stuff.
That's the problem with the entire.
It was easy to cut these cats loose. And
get out of here. I mean,
I'll leave it at that, man.
Yeah, man. Once again, man, I know we probably only got a few minutes left, man. Let's try to bring the mood back up just for, what I'm saying, maybe 5-10 minutes, man. We got the Super Bowl this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Fly, Eagles,
is it?
fly.
Damn.
Yes, man. Fly, Eagles, fly. You know what I'm saying? I am the resident Eagles fan, been an Eagles fan since Randall Cunningham. So this ain't no bandwagon-ish.
Did I ever tell you I met Cunningham in an elevator?
I word? No.
Yeah, really, really quick. Keith Byers, former Eagle, went to my church in Dayton, and he invited the whole church to his wedding in Detroit. And I think me and my brother was, just rolling around. What's the joint with the two elevators, man? The Embassy Suites. And we get in the elevator, and the door opens up, and Randall Cunningham walks in. I'm like, bro, man, that's Randall Cunningham. I forget what little paper we had, but he signed it. I mean, we met. I think we got autographs from Barry Sanders, Reggie White, Jerome Brown. It was just a host of who's who at that wedding, man.
I got all them cards, man.
Nah, but like I said, man, I've been an Eagles fan since Randall. And we got Eagles versus Kansas City Chiefs. This is the first time that two brothers are playing each other, the Kelsey brothers, and two brothers are playing each other, as in the two black quarterbacks.
When you see,
you know what I'm saying? So once again, man, I'm excited, that, a team that I root for is once again in the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a good game. But I also think it depends on the health of Jalen Hurts, on how Philly does. I know Pat Mahomes is kind of banged up in that AFC Championship game with a high ankle sprain. But for me,
ain't something wrong with Kelsey's back. Did his back get busted up?
I've seen Kelsey in a bunch of interviews this week. Man, why did that went over my head. That actually went over my head. That went over my head.
Y'all want to know what that means? Google Pimp C.
Actually, don't Google Pimp C.
And Google bust up your back.
It's a whole lot of Googleable phrases in that interview, man.
Right.
Google family man.
Now I'm lost, man. What was I talking? It's talking about Super Bowl, man. Obviously, me being the Eagles fan, I'm going Eagles 30-27.
It's not going to be close. What you say? What score?
I'm going 30-27 Eagles.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Chiefs can't stop nobody. Eagles have a better defense than the Chiefs does. I think they'll have more stops. I think it's going to be a 2-score game, man. I don't think Mahomes is 100%. What he got, a high ankle sprain?
Yeah.
it's gonna take a while for that to heal. He wasn't mobile in that Natty game, which I think they were cheated. We won't get into that.
Eagles got a little bit of a better pass. Well, not a little bit, but a better pass rush too.
They got way better defense.
Yeah. So
and
Hassan Reddick, he gonna get busy.
Who?
Hassan Reddick, because they're gonna line him up on whoever their weakest tackle is, and he gonna get busy.
Yeah, I just think that you're taking away a little bit of Mahomes' magic when he on that gimpy ankle. I'm not sold on Pacheco, man. He runs super hard.
Yeah, you got beef with Pacheco, man.
He runs reckless, but man, he's not gonna be a game changer. I think ultimately the Eagles have more game changers. I think they pull it out, man. So shout out to both teams for even making it. My Bears ain't been there since 2006. So, but they did hire a black. I think he's the president, I believe. Andy Blast. He came from the Big Ten.
Oh yeah. Kevin
Yeah.
something. Kevin Warren.
Yeah, I think his last name. Is it Warren or Wilson? Warren.
Warren, I think so. Yeah.
Shout out to that guy.
I don't care who wins. Like he said, you got two brothers, so I can just imagine my dad is super hyped because that's the way he roots. He'll go for whoever looks like him. So I think that's how I'm gonna roll, man. Whoever wins is cool. I think a little part of me is leaning towards Mahomes just because I want to see him take that next step into the greatness. I feel he's already there with every year he started. He's been in the AFC Championship game. But I think that second Super Bowl would probably help validate that a little bit more.
I think Mahomes outside of football is the reason why I kind of don't like to do too much. It's his brother and his wife, man. They just I know he
that ain't on him, though, man.
I know, but it's just it's transitioning to me.
So living in Kansas for 4 years, I don't have beef with Kansas City. Obviously they're in Missouri, but everybody in Wichita rooted for the Chiefs. So I was exposed to a lot of fans and went to a game and used to watch them all the time. But they play in my squad, so F those dudes.
No, that's the way you got to be.
Yeah, F those dudes. I love Mahomes though, man. I've, like you said, Blast. I think it was Colin Cowherd, man. I listen to him regularly, and he was talking about. He was like, man, obviously you consider Brady to be the GOAT, and that's what I'm saying, mostly based upon the championships. But Brady can't do a single thing that Pat Mahomes does. And he kind of compared it to Bill Russell and Michael Jordan. Obviously, if you base it on championships, then Bill Russell's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Because he has more. But when you watch the game and you watch the player, you understand that Bill Russell is not Michael Jordan. Brady is not Mahomes. The things that I've seen Mahomes do, we've never seen, man.
I know B-Dub's going to take offense to this, but I've never, in his 20 years, I've never sat down and been like, I'm about to watch Brady sling the ball around. I will sit down to watch Mahomes throw the ball because it's just different watching. Different. Brady, Peyton Manning, some of those other guys, they're the same dude. Now, to E's point, Brady statistically is the GOAT. He has all of the rings and all of the accolades to prove that he's the GOAT. So I'm not going to argue that. It's just, I know if you lined up 10 quarterbacks, Brady was one, Mahomes was one, Rodgers was one, Brady wouldn't be the first quarterback you're picking. Based on, how he plays the quarterback position, I would be picking several guys before I would pick Brady to be my quarterback.
Now, Brady,
I can't argue. I can't argue with what he's done in his career. I won't even sit here and try to do that. It's kind of like Jordan and LeBron. I mean,
shout out to LeBron.
I know I'll catch a lot of flack for this, but
we had that on our list, man.
LeBron is a different animal, man. I know it's a touchy subject, but LeBron is a different animal than Mike.
It's a different game too, man.
That's true. It's
a totally different game. I like. Mahomes and Brady are, to me, two different quarterbacks. I think I don't want to say Brady's basic, but he's a prototypical quarterback. He's a pocket passer. He's not going to, we can't run because he's slow.
And he's seen it all. That's the thing, is he can diagnose defenses in a millisecond.
Right. So, Brady in his prime versus like what is Mahomes doing besides scrambling that Brady can't do? Brady can make all the throws. He might not have a stronger arm than Pat does. But
I think it's some of the arm angles. There's just, I've never seen a Brady and been like, wow. I think the one time that I saw Brady and was like, wow, was probably this year. And as I'm watching the game, I'm just thinking whoever they're playing has left too much time on the clock. Sure enough, Brady came back and won the game. But I'm like, with Mahomes, it's like you sit down and watch because you're going to see some shit that you ain't never seen. Now, I'm not saying that makes him the GOAT because he can make a throw that somebody else can't make. It's just he really does have a lot of the underlying stats too to back it up. I mean, has anybody gone to 5 straight AFC title
games at that, man? The thing about I'm gonna speak on like mama. What I like about Mahomes is, and it makes sense to me. When I watch the Chiefs, they remind me of Golden State. Golden State can be down by 21. You still don't believe that Golden State's going to lose the game because they can just get busy, and next thing you know, they up by 21. That's the same way I feel, and this was pre this year when they had like, Tyreek Hill and things like that. Pat Mahomes could be down by 21, and I would still think all the way into double zeros that they going to come back and win because they can just bing, 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 bing. Next thing, I mean, we've seen that dude.
And it's not they, it's he.
Yeah, like he just
especially this year. year. Kelsey's a Hall of Fame tight end, so you got to give him props. But I mean, who is Mahomes throwing to, man?
Yeah,
aside from Kelsey,
Juju.
Yeah, I'm like, man, he's got a bunch of 3s and 4s out there.
Yeah, so this is the year that he actually he proved himself because he wasn't throwing to a Tyreek Hill. I mean, McCole Hardman's been hurt, but he's not a Hill either. Like I said, man, just the way, and once again, the telltale sign about will be for him is, once again, you have to get that magic number of 2. I don't want you to get it against my Eagles. You still got next year. Because that's when they start talking GOAT talk. But I also think he's going to have a lot more opportunities to win championships. And if he gets to 4 or 5, you have to start putting him up there, man, because once again, the thing about Brady is he has 7, which I don't think anybody's going to eclipse Brady, not even Pat Mahomes, because at some point in time, Andy Reid's going to leave. At some point in time, money's going to come into play and people are going to leave. But he's proven like he can do it with less.
And they're making a lot more money than, even Brady made. Like the guys that are getting paid now are getting contracts that's way more than what Brady made.
Yeah, but
I think Burrow gonna have something to say about that.
That Burrow contract gonna be nice too.
Burrow's nice, man. I like Burrow. And I think if Cincinnati can make the numbers work and they can keep, Chase and Higgins, and I hate to discount Mixon, but running backs nowadays are dime a dozen.
Yeah, I think he's actually gone, man, based on talk radio around here.
Because you don't really
the
you
numbers
can do
don't
the
add
same.
up.
You can do the same with
Perine. Yeah.
Actually, Mixon is a pass pro nightmare. He can't pass pro. That's why they always have.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, to make, I ain't gonna hate on nobody's money, but I'm like, to make what he's making, and you're not even a third down guy either.
Yeah.
But the Bengals just as hard. I think the Bengals, but the AFC, bro, like the AFC is, they have all the quarterbacks. If you name the top 5 quarterbacks, they're in the AFC. You know what I'm saying? The NFC is a little bit easier because, I mean, everybody's aged out in the NFC. I mean, Aaron Rodgers isn't Aaron Rodgers anymore.
Yeah, Brady gone.
Brady's gone. Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback. He gets it done, and I like his development and his growth, but he's not top 5.
He might be if he continues, on this pace.
I like
overall Hurts. Or NFC. I'll give it to him in the NFC, but
definitely NFC. But I mean, you can't argue that he's not an MVP candidate this year.
Oh no, that's factual. Yeah, but I think like Man, we about to. We probably
Yeah,
need to.
yeah, we running over, man.
Yeah. Hey, once again, we want to thank y'all for joining Hop CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, whatever channel you choose to tune into rather. Like I said, man, we like doing these conversations where we can kind of freestyle stuff, man. We love having a guest because they bring a different dynamic. But we like to talk, man. We like to, give our opinion, and we hope that y'all enjoy tuning in and listening to our opinion. Once again, Hops and Stocks, episode 69. Signing out.
69.
Nasty.
Man, this is a nasty episode.
Nasty.
You bust up your back episode, man.
You boys are nasty.
Hey, can we title this "Your Back Busted Up"?
Back busting. Back busted.
I know you watched that.
Shell of a man if we ever depart from my heart to I'm riding with you.
I'm riding with you.